Welcome, everybody. We have Angela Margolit with us today. She's from Bluebird Auto Rental Systems. We're very excited to have you. Thank you for joining us.
You are most welcome.
Great. Hey, so why don't we kind of go through your journey and can you share with us and how you got to where you are today?
Okay, well, it's a long, exciting story, but believe it or not, I got my undergraduate degree in climatology. But when I graduated, most of the Vietnam veterans were getting all the federal jobs, so it was very hard to get on with the NOAA. But I fell back on my exposures to computers and started working with several of the companies based around Washington, D.C., and served the Department of Defense. So I started out as a programmer, believe it or not, and then morphed into a systems engineer for DataPoint Corporation. They were a microcomputer company based in San Antonio, Texas. And with them, I was tapped on the shoulder to go into sales. So they sent a dozen of systems engineers through sales training. So then I was serving the Air Force at Edwards and Vandenberg Air Force Base and the Army Information Systems Command in Fort Huachuca and various Navy bases throughout Southern California. But then I heard of this company while I was with DataPoint, believe it or not, with Bluebird Systems. And I thought that this was a pretty interesting company, but just didn't have any opportunity to contact them, but they contacted me via a headhunter. So they hired me, they interviewed me to work out of their office in New Jersey as a sales rep. So I learned the car rental industry, and I grew my territory from the Northeast took over some accounts for all of Canada. So that was way back in 1988. And from 88 through 92, I gave birth to a couple boys. And then in 93, I wanted to rewrite the product in Windows. So I negotiated with the owner at the time to do an employee leveraged buyout of the auto rental division. And moved it over one weekend from Carlsbad, California, where Bluebird Systems was based, to Parsippany, New Jersey, where my office was. So our very first task was to rewrite the product in Windows. And from there, it was a rocket ship ever since.
Wow. So tons of experience and things that you've been through. That's amazing. So why don't you talk to me about your product offering and solutions at Bluebird and the benefits your customers get in engaging with you?
Yeah, very good. Well, since we've been around so long, the original Bluebird Systems had their first product as long ago as 1982. So they basically revolved around budget rent-a-car, and most of the true car rental companies. Way back in 1985, we were endorsed by Thrifty Car Rental. So we always focused on the airport operator. And then in the mid-90s, we were approached by Reynolds and Reynolds, and then around 2000 by ADP. So that helped us go into the dealership market or the OEM world. So our system is extremely feature-rich and sophisticated in many aspects. If customers take advantage of even half of the features, they would run their businesses more efficiently and profitably.
Wonderful. So why don't you talk a little bit about your price points then?
Very good. We have set our pricing so that it makes sense for the car rental owner, that it's based on their fleet size and the type of business they do. So we recognize that not all operators want every feature. That, of course, would add to the price of the software up front and our ongoing monthly fees for support and ongoing development. So we charge additionally for extra modules. So that allows them to get in the door for pretty reasonable pricing. It's about $1,000 for one user. That is our SaaS solution. We use the Amazon cloud. And then we do not charge for extra versions of the new software. We don't charge for new versions of the software. We average 2 releases a year and a major release every several years.
Okay. Great, great. So how many other companies do what you do, and what really differentiates you?
There's just a handful of other companies that offer software to the vertical that we're in, the auto rental software. And when the economy is on the upswing, as it is now, new competitors come and go. It is a mature industry, and it's hard for new competitors to establish a large enough customer base to keep them in business. So my heart goes out to them. But it's tough, because once a company buys the software and focuses their business on it, it's hard to change. So we have a great base and pretty well entrenched. What differentiates us is our pricing, as I mentioned above, how we vary it by the number of vehicles and the type of industry, and our service. Most of our product support analysts, which is what we call our help desk personnel, they come from the industry. So they really know the product and what it's like to use from a user's perspective, and what stress they feel when they're trying to help a customer standing in front of us and they're having difficulties. We're the only company that has an online call center, and our customers use that to enter and track their call support tickets.
Yeah, I think we'll dive into more of the support and things and service you guys do, which I think is really fantastic, and just a few more questions. But let's just start with. Can you kind of go into where you see Bluebird in the next 3 to 4 years?
All right. We pride ourselves on being a leader in technology. So right now we are working on our next release, version 5, and that will be leading edge technology. I'm hoping to have it done sooner than later, and we'll be involving our customers at some point so they can give us feedback. We're pretty proud of that. We also introduced a new service for recovering accident claims. So if a car rental company has a vehicle that their renter or customer is involved in an accident, they usually have to go after insurance companies, credit card companies, as well as the renter themselves. So we now have a division of personnel to help them with that, and that's growing very nicely.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I love getting the customer feedback. I think that's so important in any business. So let's talk about the level of support and training that most customers request after they buy your software, and what is that you conventionally offer.
Yep, very good. Well, new customers, especially those with large fleets in several locations, they need a high level of support to convert to a new system. So for these situations, we appoint a project manager, and they create a carefully laid out implementation plan. So that's going to include not only training, but importing what we call static data, the fleet and customer data, from their older system. The account manager, their sales rep, also assists with the selection of the print program. That's the rental agreement format. So those are highly customized, including their logo on there, and any customer-facing document like a reservation receipt, invoice, or statement. The account manager will also help them sign up for additional services such as credit card processing. And then if they've bought any of our website integration tools, in particular eRes, or our OTA API. So training is where we really shine. We offer many different forms of training. We have daily webinars. They're offered Tuesday through Friday. We have quarterly classes here in my office where I'm sitting right now, in our New Jersey office. We're only about 45 minutes due west of Midtown Manhattan. We also do one-on-one phone training as needed. We will do on-site training. In fact, right now I have a support person in Papua New Guinea training the AVIS there. We have a plethora of online tools such as a wiki and training videos. We also have a quick reference guide we give to new customers, so if they just need initially how to know to go to rent a car and modify a vehicle and check in a contract, gives them a real quick, easy way to find out how to do that. And then we still do hard copy documentation. We keep our reference guides, and we have an operations training manual that we keep up to date.
Great. So after all these things that you have been able to accomplish, Let's go into the challenge. What's been the biggest challenge you have faced in your business?
The biggest challenge that we've been dealing with is all the mergers and acquisitions and all of the industry churn. At this time, there is really a small group of players owned by 3 entities. Thankfully, we have a really great relationship with 2 of the 3 to the point where we are exclusively endorsed. Mm-hmm. So we're able to go to their conventions, do a lot of custom programming for them. So it's kept us very, very busy.